All right, everyone, this is Mr. Eric. I'm going to kind of take two here. My pen ran out of ink. So here to go over this review with you. So on this one, angle number one, you can see I've already got this one written. It's either GVF, or I could put on that one angle FVG. What is the vertex of angle 3? So here's angle 3. The vertex is where the two rays meet. So that's going to be just point V. And could you give a name for the combination of angles 2 and 3? So that's going to go from here to here. So that's either angle GVI, or it could be IVG, as long as we have the vertex in the middle. On the next section, what's another name for plane M? All I need to do is use 3 letters that are not on the same line and that fall in the plane. So I can't use point Q, that won't work, it's outside the plane. And I can't use SP and T all together. So I could put TVP, or I could put SPR, or I could put RSV, or anything kind of like that, just as long as I'm not using SPT, because they're all in the same line. What is another name for line N? This is line N. So this little N is not a point. That's the name of the line. So the only 2 points on the line are Q and P. So this would either be QP with the line symbol over it, or I could use PQ as well. And then where does line N intersect with plane M? You can see by the dotted line, this is supposed to be like something coming down like this and going through the plane on the other side. So that should just be point P. As we go to the next page, name the vertical angle pairs for the pictures. So we have angle A, and then across from it is angle B. So those two would be vertical angles. We have angle D, and then across from that is angle C. So those two would be vertical angles. Name a set of adjacent angles. Adjacent just means they are next to each other. So I'm going to choose angle B and angle C as my adjacent angles. They're next to each other, but A and C would work, D and A would work, D and B would work, as long as it's two that are right next to each other, not the pairs of vertical angles. And then name a linear pair for angle A. Linear pair means they're sitting on a straight line, and there's 2 of them. So it's either going to be A and D or A and C. I like C better, so I'm going to go with angle C. Write an if-then statement that is false, and then provide a counter example. If I am recording a video, then everything is quiet. And as you've heard by hearing my son and daughter run around and say things, you know that this is a false statement. So the false statement would be the counter example would be the kids making noise. It happens. And then the last one down here on this page, on the circle, draw and label a chord. Chord has end points. This is a chord. The end points are on the circle. A radius, so I'm going to estimate the center of this circle, and this line here would be a radius. Draw a diameter. It goes through the center of the circle, and it is a chord, so that's not too bad. That's a diameter. A secant. Now a secant is like a chord, except that it extends as a line outside of the circle. So this is my secant. And then I have a tangent. A tangent will intersect the circle at a single point, which is the point of tangency. And if it just so happens that I have a diameter or radius that goes there, it will do so at a 90-degree angle. Last few questions. My conditional statement here. Focus up, camera. Come on. If it rains hard, then they cancel school. Identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. So it rains hard would be my hypothesis. And they cancel school would be my conclusion of that statement. Okay, so my conditional statement is if P, then Q. My converse is if Q, then P. So if they cancel school, then it rained hard. This is not true, by the way. We don't cancel school for rain unless like the school's flooded and the electricity goes out. So this is Q, then P. The inverse is where we add the not. So this is if not P, then not Q. Okay, so if it does not rain hard, then they do not cancel school. And then the contrapositive. This is if not Q, then not P. So if I'm going to contract here, if they don't cancel school, then it did not rain hard. Apologize for the shaky camera. I didn't have my tripod here. Solve the following equation. Use the two-column proof to check your answer. What you're supposed to do on this one is kind of get down and get to where you find out. Hopefully you got this, that x is, I think, equal to 6. So that's what we're trying to prove. So we make our little chart. Okay. Step number 1 is 6 times x minus 3 plus 8 is equal to 2x plus 14. And that is going to be our given. Okay. Our next step, we would go ahead and do the distributive property. And for the distributive property, we end up with 6x minus 18 plus 8 is equal to 2x plus 14. At this point, I'm going to combine the negative 18 and the positive 8. So that's going to be, for my steps, just combine like terms. So I have 6x minus 10 is equal to 2x plus 14. My 2x is my smaller x. That's usually what I eliminate. So I'm going to do subtraction. I subtract that 2x from both sides. So I end up with 4x minus 10 is equal to 14. I'm then going to add that 10 to both sides. So it's the addition property. Most of these have been properties. Distributive property. Okay, my addition property there, that's going to give me 4x is equal to 24. And then my last step is my division property. Which leaves me with the answer that I was hoping I would get. X is equal to 6. Okay, so I solve it down, I get x equals 6, and then I go through these steps to prove that x equals 6 is supposed to be the answer. Hopefully this helps you out, and good luck on your test.